Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Above My Pay Grade. Today, we're reacting to some financial TikToks, specifically ones that have to do with Dave Ramsey's advice. Let's watch. Dave will hunt you down. He will hunt you down. He will find you in your front lawn.
All you ever did was do me wrong. So I hope you go broke and your iPhone breaks and your ex shows up and
you want to know how.
Okay, 29-year-old with $800K in debt. Normally, if you ever watch Dave Ramsey, which I'm past my Dave Ramsey phase, I think he has some good advice, but on debt. And if he hears something like this, I'm sure he's going to blow a gasket. Let's hear it.
Get debt-free without filing bankruptcy.
Okay, how much of that is a mortgage?
The mortgage, about $210,000.
So you have $600,000 in what?
$335,000 is about in student loans. We both have advanced degrees, and then a lot. The rest is really credit cards and personal loans.
So you have $300,000 of credit cards and personal loans?
We have about $335,000 student loans and about $136,000 in credit cards, $44,000 personal loans.
You can see the wheels turning in his head. He's so mad.
When I wanted to become a millionaire, I didn't see millionaires driving piles of shit. I saw millionaires driving Mercedes, BMWs, nice cars. So I followed suit and I did what the millionaires did, and it worked. I know you were expecting me to say, well, I drove a 94 Camry for 7 years. I didn't. I went out, stepped up to the plate, put my nuts on the line, and signed the line, which was dotted. At the end of the day, man, number one, I wanted to drive a nice car. I've always liked nice things. I don't like shitty things. Everyone in the world told me not to go above my means. Me going above my means was what triggered my initiative. It's what got me up every day. And when I got in that car and I was driving around feeling like $1 million.
I think this is pretty dumb. Because even if, let's just say that worked for him, there's a law of diminishing return. So if he keeps doing this, right? So he buys a very nice car when he doesn't have any money, and he finally makes money, and now he buys an even nicer car. He'll never catch up to his lifestyle. Not saying that everything, I don't even know who this is, but everything he has to say is bad. I'm not saying that, but most of your growth in finance is going to be living below your means. Because if you're constantly, simple math, if you're living beyond your means constantly, you'll never catch up.
Don't buy a new car unless you have at least a $1 million net worth. Come here, Dave. When I used to be broke, when I just got out of college and was trying to figure out this whole life thing, I used to listen to Dave Ramsey, right? Until I started studying and realizing that blanket advice like this is very dangerous. For one, you can have $1 million net worth and not have any cash flow. And you can have a lot of cash flow to afford a new car and not have $1 million net worth. Once I did some quick...
Yeah, so what he means by cash flow is, is your money making you money, whether in real estate, stocks, etc. So if you have, one of the things Dave Ramsey tells people to do is to pay off their house. And now that we're dealing with inflation, that's one thing Dave Ramsey doesn't talk much about. He's anti-gold, he's anti-crypto, and he's big into paying off your house. And just back of the napkin math, you can see if your interest rate is in the 3s and inflation's at 7+%, essentially it's free money that you're borrowing on your house and paying it off with cheaper dollars. So that's kind of what he's referring to.
And Dave Ramsey is really good at creating poor people that have a few $100,000 at retirement, and that's better off than the average American. That's a great plan for people that are financial idiots. That's a great plan for people that are unwilling to financially educate. That's a great plan for people that are terrified of risk. But if you got this one life to live and you realize modern medicine is going to keep you around a whole lot longer than you currently think the game is, if you got another 20, 30, 40, 50 years in you, add 30 years. You might have that. And if you're really not prepared for that, you're going to have to think differently. How did I get there? Did we just tangent again? A little bit.
You know, one of the things I think Dave Ramsey assumes about people is they can't handle debt. There's a lot of people that, including myself, that use a credit card, pay it off every month. There's a lot of protections with credit cards that you can't get with debit cards, top of the points and all that. And Dave's big on the debt snowball and paying off debt, and I think that's pretty smart, how he talks about paying off debt. But the psychology of growing money and using money to make you money, I don't think I'm sure he's good at it because he's worth a lot of money. But some of the advice he gives people, he doesn't follow himself. Like, he got rich from starting a business, putting his cash to work in his business. So he didn't necessarily get rich from investing in his 401k.
Here are 5 big things I disagree with Dave Ramsey about. Dave Ramsey thinks that you should not see the inside of a restaurant until you're debt-free, meaning that if you have any type of debt at all, you should not be going out to eat. Every single penny should be going to debt. This might be good advice for someone who is in their 60s trying to retire in 5 years, but it's not sustainable for a millennial or a Gen Z in their 20s and 30s. Next is to not take
Why not?
of a company match. Dave Ramsey says that if you are working on paying off debt, you shouldn't put anything in your 401k, where I think it is stupid to give up free money, so that you should take advantage of your company match and then wait, pay off debt, invest more heavily later.
Again, his advice is based off psychology. The mental wins you get from paying off something quicker. So he says, pay off debt smallest to largest. Those mental wins is what keep you going versus it doesn't always make financial sense mathematically. Obviously, you can get a better return. But the human behavior part is what Dave Ramsey focuses on with paying off debt.
Number 3, Dave Ramsey says that you should have $1,000 in an emergency fund, and I do not think this is enough. I think you should have 1 to 3 months of expenses depending on your risk. Number 4 is no vacations or no extravagant stuff while you solve debt, and I still think that that's important to not give up memories now. Lastly, Dave Ramsey says to not take out any student loan debt, and I don't think that's real.
Okay, so he says don't take out any student loan debt and don't go on vacation. I agree with this person. Vacations obviously don't have to be lavish, so I guess you can make your own decision with what lavish is, but Dave Ramsey's pretty big on not taking lavish vacations while you're paying off debt. In college debt, I'll do another video, a whole video on college debt. Most people realize it's a racket, but look at the ROI. I think a lot of people go to college, and if you ask them, why are you going to school? Most people would say, I'm going to school so I can make more money once I graduate. That is no longer true, and you have the opportunity cost of the 4 years you spent in school.
Did you pay cash for your house? Nope. Did you pay cash for your car? Nope. And neither of those 2 things paid you cash. You're borrowing money to lose money every single month. So flip the script. Borrow money to buy.
I make around 50 to 70 to 80K a month doing e-commerce.
Wait a minute, you're making $50,000 a month at 16 years old?
Yes, sir.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yes, sir. I do e-commerce, so I run drop shipping websites through Shopify. I do eBay or Amazon to eBay arbitrage, and just a bunch of various side hustles. And
I've known a couple people who have done. I knew a guy in college that was selling light bulbs on Amazon and was making about $10,000 a month, just buying them in China, then selling them on Amazon. Pretty cool deal. There's a lot of things you can do to make money other than punching a time clock or time card.
Here's what.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. To sum it up, I think Dave Ramsey gives some good advice as far as human behavior and paying off debt. But when it comes to investing after you've paid off your debt, I think there's a lot better people out there. But the foundation of controlling yourself, being able to control what's between the ears, is, I think, a good thing that Dave Ramsey tells people about. So if you can do that, I think you'll be a good investor. If you control your emotions, investing and paying off debt, I think you'll be better at both. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.